What's up, Nappy Vlogs? Here we are in the back of my basement by some tools, because I figured I would give you some tools today and we would build our arsenal and tool belt of songwriting, producing, artist tips and tricks. So today we're going to do 5 cool songwriter brainstorming ideas. We talked a few weeks ago about putting together songs as a whole, including the music, and how to take different approaches to get to the similar end result of a complete song. Today we're going to talk about just songwriting, specifically, lyrically, and here we go. So the first idea, of course, is the most, it's not easy, but it's fun because there's really no thought. Freestyling. If you already have your music or you just with yourself, just freestyle. Freestyle, you're going to either nail it and be an amazing freestyler and get your verses and your hooks by repetition over years of freestyling. And there you go. Or you're going to get what I call a melody skeleton. A melody skeleton is basically the foundation of a song with the melodies roughly in place and structure roughly in place, but you might be mumbling. So you might be like, and then later you go back and you're like, I want to go back to the good old days. So something like that. That's what I call a melody skeleton. So that's number 1, freestyle. Number 2, I'm looking at my notes and cheating. Build around a certain theme or a concept. So say you are making a new song using this technique. You might want to make a song about your political stance. You know, say you support a certain bill that's getting pushed to the front to maybe get passed, and so there's your concept. So your whole song is going to be around that. And what I like to do is take the theme or the concept and make that the hook. And then your verses become your extra information to support that concept or theme. So when you're building around a concept, you have 2 things you can be thinking about. Not only the lyrics and how you're going to structure it verbally and lyrically, vocally, but also how the music is going to sound and support your theme that you were already focused on creating. So again, if you're making a political song, maybe you're gonna go old school and have some like marches and trumpet and brass and make it sound like the president's walking into the room. So that's number 2, building around a theme. Number 3, treat it like a school project. I've done this a lot of times and it works. It feels weird. Sometimes it almost takes it doesn't take the creativity out of it, but it's just not something that's always pushed first when you're talking about brainstorming for writing songs. But I've used word webs where, again, they'll pick a theme or 2, write it in the middle, and I'll branch off other ideas and subcategories of that theme. So there's word webs, Venn diagrams. You know, you can have your verses, and in the middle is something that they all have to have in common, which also could lead you to your hook. And also, if you're going to treat it like a school project, which is our number 3, then I also really make sure there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's almost like writing an essay, where your verses are your paragraphs and your hook is your thesis statement. So that's number 1, freestyle. Number 2, build solely around a theme. Number 3, treat it like a school project and use things such as word maps, diagrams, whiteboards, and notes to connect your ideas into a song that can be summarized with the thesis statement, aka hook. Number 4 is collaborate. You can collaborate digitally, you can collaborate physically. You can collaborate on something that already exists and you're going to add your touch and then put it out there. So digitally, you're going to have a relationship or a new building relationship with somebody, another artist, and you're going to go back and forth. I've done this in Google Docs. I've worked with artists where we both have a Google Doc, or basically any notepad that you can both edit at the same time. And I've co-written lyrics like that for certain projects, sending files back and forth. When you're collaborating, the biggest thing is to remain open-minded and humble and recognize that both of you are working on a song. It is not just your song, it is the product of the collaborators. So listen to what they have to say. If you really feel strongly about something, trust your gut, but be open to maybe if they're suggesting to try something this way, give it a try. The worst thing that happens is you don't like the idea as much, but be open. So along with collaborating digitally and physically, and or in reinterpolating or interpreting something that already is there, what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, number 5 is find patterns in songs and productions that you like. So pick a song that you love. The Beatles, Jay-Z, doesn't matter. Study that formula. Alright, they have an intro for 8 bars, then a verse, and the verse is this rhyme scheme. Copy the rhyme scheme. Change the words. You can even change the end rhyme. But take the pattern. Take the pattern, write a whole song in that pattern. Do it a lot. When I first started writing, a lot of my songs were structured like 90s rock and hip-hop, and also the Beatles. So many of my songs were structured like that. Of course, so many pop songs in American music are going to have very similar structures, but just focus on one song specifically and really copy it. Just copy it. Even if you don't put it out, that process is going to help you find your own style and be in the habit of being able to start a song and finish a song. And so that is 5 tips. And of course, I'm not even counting it as number 6. But lastly, practice, 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 practice. Some of the most important things I was ever taught was never decide if your song is good before it's finished. So everyone out there is a perfectionist, and when you start a song, you get in your own head, and before it's done, you're like, this sucks. Well, finish it, and then decide. And you'll be surprised how many songs you end up liking just by finishing. I wasted a lot of time when I was younger just not finishing a song or delaying it from being done by saying, oh yeah, it just needs me to do that. Well, do it and finish it, and then decide if you like it. And it's okay if you don't. Just keep making more, and try these different techniques. We talked about in the other one, when you dive more into the music, it's pretty much the same thing, but musically, you can use these during writer's block. So if you're in writer's block, well then just choose a different method. And if that's writer's block, choose another method. You know, there's multiple ways to keep your brain going to where you can create a good song, get it finished, and succeed with the task at hand. So there you go. Here's some tools in the tool shed teaching you how to brainstorm as a songwriter and an artist. That's all I got for right now. This is Mike Nappy, NappyMusicOfficial.com, Nappy Music on social media, everywhere. I'm really pumped because Nappy Music Holidays Volume 6 is about 4 songs complete. I'd like to get to 5 or 7 and make it a little EP. It's really cool. It's really experimental, kind of, for once. Speaking of songs, I kind of ended up doing a lot of guitar and bass on this project, and kind of got trippy with it. Kind of got spacey with it. So kind of said fuck the rules for this one, which is interesting because I just told you about all these rules. But for some reason, Nappy Holidays Volume 6, the 6th year in a row, I'm breaking a lot of rules. It's cool. I've really just focused on making music that is cool in my head, because for a while I was insecure about that. So for this project specifically, thinking about everything we just did, my approach was don't follow the rules and do what sounds good to you. You should always do that, but sometimes with project at hand, you have to keep other people's visions in mind, so you don't always have that freedom. In this case, I do, so I'm pumped. Nappy Holidays, Volume 6. Stay tuned for it. I'm hoping within a week or 2 it's out and it's done. I think that's all I got. So, until next time, keep practicing. Like Michelangelo said from the Ninja Turtles. Keep practicing. Bye.